What's going on YouTube? Hey guys, this is Ben Nader, the channel where we talk about all things staffing, recruitment, business, entrepreneurship, everything in between pretty much, and I vlog on these topics every single day, so you should definitely become a subscriber if you're not one already by smashing the subscribe button right now. So let's dive right into today's topic, which is all about betting completely on your strengths and forgetting entirely about your weaknesses. Again, this is in context of entrepreneurship, and I believe most of this channel is comprised of entrepreneurs, so I think it'll be really valuable for you guys to listen to. So understand that in this video, I'm talking about not even from a perspective of simply a product or a service, like something specific. I'm talking about just before you're starting something, before you're creating anything. So overall, here's the deal, right? You're never gonna get anywhere in life, overall in business, overall in life, overall in just any adventure or goal that you go after, if you play to your weaknesses, or if you allow your weaknesses to affect your strengths. Your strengths are gonna take you there. Your weaknesses are only gonna drag you down, slow you down, and hold you back. And no one's ever gotten anywhere by playing to their weaknesses. So there's something to be completely forgotten, and there's a way to do it. I'm gonna show it in this video. I'm gonna explain it and go through how I went through this process and what it did for me and all of that. So it's really important for you to understand this. So I'm gonna be extremely blunt, right? Like, there's a lot of things you suck at. Like, you completely just suck at doing a certain thing, being a certain way, right? Or executing on certain activities, whatever. There's a lot of awesome things that you do as well. There's things that you're so good at that you might not even realize how good you are at them. There's things that you're amazing at, and they're just in your back pocket. You can just pull them out whenever, and you're perfect at them, right? So we all have these, right? So everybody has weaknesses, everybody has strengths. So how do you begin this process? Like, what do you do to actually play and bet 100% on your strengths and forget about the weaknesses? Because that's where the real gold is. Once you get to that mindset, that's where the gold is. So ultimately, you have to do a self-evaluation, right? An assessment, an audit, like look at yourself and actually have some serious self-awareness about what you're good at and what you're bad at. Like, what are your weaknesses? What are your greatest strengths? Like, how do those things work? There's a reason that people ask this in job interviews. One, to see if you're a narcissist and if you can even do this on your own. And two, they want to understand actually what you're good at and what you might need improvement on, right? And they say improvement, but really it's a weakness, right? And we don't want to deal with improvement. We just want to play on the strengths, right? Because that's going to get you the win and the money and everything, all the success. Okay, so anyways, you do a self-assessment. You figure out what you're good at, you figure out what you're bad at. And once you get there, you identify like what accomplishments you've had in your life, what miserable failures you've had, blah, blah, blah. If you can't do this on your own, like if you really, really cannot do this in your own head, just sitting alone for like 30 minutes, right? Ask someone that you trust. Like, talk to someone that you truly trust, that knows you inside and out, and that can tell you from an honest perspective, and that won't hold back what you're really strong at and what you're really weak at. And this is also a really good way of double checking yourself, right? Maybe you could do your own self audit and then you can get it from somebody else as well. And by doing that, you kind of cross check and you'll have a really good idea of what your strengths are. Because ultimately, that's what we're after. We want to find out what the strengths are. We really want to find out what the weaknesses are, but as soon as we know what they are, we just want to get rid of them. But we're focused on strengths here, right? So aside from that, like based on that strength weakness analysis, then you want to actually execute and go 100,000% all in on those strengths. And I'm talking right now, forget about like creating something, forget about what you're going to be doing. I'm still philosophically talking right now. I'm not even talking about what app you're going to create or what business you're getting into or like where you're going with your whole, entrepreneur life. I'm still talking philosophically here because we're in mindset mode right now. We're not in like startup mode, okay? I'm talking about where your head's at and where you're at before you start executing on things, because that's 90% of the game, guys. That's 90% of everything. You have to understand that, right? So completely forget about what you're actually going to be doing. So once you figure out what you're completely strong in and then what you're weak at, obviously you need to be in the mindset of going 100% in on the strengths. Understand that overall, like, I was successful in recruiting. There's a specific reason for that. Will you be successful in recruiting? I have no flipping clue at all. Like, absolutely no clue whatsoever. I couldn't even ask you a couple questions to find out if you're going to be good. You have to ask yourself those questions, and that's the point. Why was I good at it? Well, I did a self-assessment and I figured that I'm really, really good with people. I'm awesome with people. I'm a great person with organizational skills. I'm really, really good at sales, and I'm awesome at just business in general, business savvy, right? Like, I understand, how to organize a business. So those are my strengths, right? Like, I'm really strong in those areas. That's why I'm good at recruitment. You have to do an analysis of your own self. Like, I can't ask you what you're good at, what you're bad at, and kind of figure it out, right? You have to do it by yourself because you're the only person that actually knows yourself inside and out to this level. Going off of that and riffing on that, I would say that one of the best examples of this is like when people come up with concepts for a business, right? Or a trendy business name, right? Like just maybe like an actual name only. That'd be a cool app, or that would be a cool, website, or, whatever. And then think that they can actually go execute on something like that right now. No, you cannot. No, that's not how it works. You have to come from the inside out. It doesn't work like that. You can't just simply think up something cool and be like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome, let's go do that. Well, turns out you're terrible with technical things, you're terrible at marketing, you have no branding skills, and you have absolutely no execution or motivation. So basically you suck at a ton of things that you would need to go do that, right? So you would need to go a different route, or you would need to compensate for the weaknesses by delegating and adding a partner that's strong in all those areas, right? So there's certain things you would do for the goal, for the outcome, for what you actually want to accomplish at the end of the day. But it all starts with finding out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And I'm not talking Myers-Briggs. I'm not talking like doing actually one of those assessments about your personality. No, I'm being more raw than that. I'm talking about literally, what are you strong in? What are you weak in? Like specific things, right? Like actual organizational skills. Like a good friend of mine was talking about taxes one time. And I said, well, the way you do stuff is you just have to write off all these things and keep track of them over the year and blah, 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 and whatever. And he's like, can't do it. I just can't do that. And I just didn't understand it because to me, it's so natural and easy and simple. And I'm like, that's so easy. Every time I make an expenditure, I just notate it. And he's like, nope, I could never do that. I could never do that. And you have to understand that it's literally black and white. Like people just can't do things that other people can do really, really well, which makes for an awesome, interesting world. And it just makes for a very, very awesome recipe for you to figure out what you're good at, what you're bad at, and then go all in on what you're good at and ultimately find success doing that. So the best thing that I've found throughout this whole exercise is that when you smash the like button, you'll figure out exactly what you're strong at, because I know you can all do that. And so that would be a perfect thing to do right now. Thank you for that. I would really appreciate it. And that's all I've got today, guys, for Sunday. I hope you're having an awesome weekend so far. We're going to crush it on Monday. I will definitely catch you with a video on Monday, and take care.